Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We got another great video for you today. We're going to be talking about East versus West, and not necessarily which is better, because that's very subjective, but what are the main differences on living on the east side of the Greater Fort Lauderdale area or the west side. So it really comes down to lifestyle and really what are the differences that you can expect. So let's dive right into it. What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Rob Zeoli and I'm a real estate agent right down here in sunny South Florida. If this is your first time checking out the channel and you want to know everything about what it's like to live and to play down here in the South Florida area, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap that little bell icon down below to be notified anytime I go ahead and put out a new video. I put out weekly videos and content breaking down everything you need to know about moving to and living down here in South Florida. But more than that, I'm a licensed real estate agent, and what I love more than anything is to help people with their real estate needs. Now, the number popping up down below goes directly to me, so if there is anything that I can do for you, or you have any questions about moving or living down here in South Florida, please reach out 24/7 and I'd be happy to talk to you and help you out. So let's get right into it, guys, and we're going to be talking about the east side of the Greater Fort Lauderdale area. So really we're talking about the beach, you know, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, Hollywood, Deerfield Beach, versus the western portion of the Greater Fort Lauderdale area, which is basically Plantation, Weston, Davie, Coral Springs, Parkland, and again, really not talking about what is better, but what are the differences that you could expect. So if you're planning a move down here to South Florida and you have any questions, hopefully this video will answer any questions you might have about the difference. Now, to get started, if you look at a map of the Greater Fort Lauderdale area, the main thing that you see and the big difference is the beach and the Atlantic Ocean running straight up the eastern portion. So obviously having the beach and the beach lifestyle is a huge difference between the eastern portion and the western portion. Now, there's over 30 some odd miles of beach going straight up the county. Starting with Hallandale Beach, there's Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale Beach, Deerfield Beach, Lighthouse Point, Pompano Beach, and all of them offer something a little bit different, but just that whole beach lifestyle is one of the main differences between the east side of the county and the west side. Now, another huge difference between the east side and the west side is boating and the boating lifestyle. So if you're into boating, or boating is important to you, especially if you want to have a home that has ocean access where you can park your own boat, the east side is definitely the place for you. Now, there's tons of different communities on the east side. Just in Fort Lauderdale, there's Coley Hammock, Coral Ridge, Las Olas Isles, and many, many other neighborhoods that offer homes with waterfront and ocean access. And now on the west side, there's one city, just Plantation, that has three different neighborhoods. You have Plantation Isles, Isla del Sol, and Plantation Harbor that have homes that have ocean access. You're going to have some fixed bridges as you go down to the beach, and you know it's going to take you about 45 minutes to an hour to get down the canal to get out to the ocean. So if the boating lifestyle is important to you and you're lucky enough to be able to afford, you know, a home on the water down in Fort Lauderdale or by the beach that has ocean access, east is definitely going to be the place for you. Now, another thing is the difference in the walkability. So if you really like having an area or want to be in a neighborhood where it's very walkable or more walkable, the east side is definitely going to be the place for you as well. Now, whether it be downtown in Fort Lauderdale or anywhere up the coast, along A1A and US 1, there's just tons and tons of shops and a lot of places where you can walk from your neighborhood, as opposed to being on the west side where things are not very walkable. So what about housing and the different types of housing? So now down on the east side, the first thing you're going to see is tons and tons of condos right up and down the East Coast, high-rise, waterfront, or beachfront condos, actually. Some are very high-end and luxury, also along the Intracoastal, so a lot of condos, plenty of condos on the west, but much more on the eastern side. Now, as far as the type of homes, the homes on the east side tend to be a little bit older. The neighborhood's a little bit older. Some of the homes were built back into 1930s. Now, in general, the homes on the east side tend to be a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter, smaller closets, and on the west side of the county, things tend to be a little bit newer as far as construction, and a little bit more of an open space in the houses, and definitely bigger closets. Now, we're speaking in very general terms here, and also on the west side, the lots tend to be a little bit larger. Now, there are some areas on the east side that have, very big lots, especially some of the big, huge waterfront estates, up and down the East Coast, especially in Fort Lauderdale. Neighborhoods like Victoria Park and Rio Vista come to mind. But in general, as you go further west, the homes tend to be larger and newer and a little bit more spacious as far as layout. Now, how about traffic? Now, in my opinion, on the east side is definitely worse as far as traffic than the west side, especially as you get closer and closer to the beach. I just think there's more and more people going down there for the activities and going to the beach, especially during, tourist season, and the winter months. But in general, definitely more traffic down on the east side. Now, if you're coming down any street going east or west, down towards the beach, as you get closer, again, like I said, to the beach, always more congested and more traffic. So again, in my opinion, definitely more traffic on the east side than the west side. Now, how about gated communities? Now, there are some gated communities on the east side, but without a doubt, the west side of the Greater Fort Lauderdale area definitely has more gated communities. The cities like Weston, Davie Plantation, Parkland, Coral Springs are just loaded with gated communities that are beautifully manicured, and some people that reach out definitely are looking for gated communities for the safety. They have families, and they like the fact that, once you're in your community and the gate closes, they feel a little bit more secure. Way more gated communities to choose from on the western side of the county than on the eastern side. Now, how about homes that have large lots? Now, the west side definitely tends to have homes with larger lots. Now, again, this is speaking in general terms. On the east side, there are plenty of homes and just giant waterfront estates, in Fort Lauderdale and other cities on the east side. But speaking in general terms, there's more large lots and multi-acre lots on the west side. Now, also on the west side are neighborhoods that cater to the equestrian lifestyle. So Southwest Ranches, Davie, Florida, Plantation, there's Plantation Acres. There are neighborhoods that have, multi-acre properties that have, you can have horses and cows and things like that. So if you're looking for a property with a lot of land, and like I said, multi-acre lots, definitely the west side is where you're gonna find more of that. So this is a little bit of a shorter video, and it's really kind of answering some people that I get questions from about the difference, especially in some of the neighborhoods, but just when they're really trying to navigate and trying to find, an area to live. Now, if you look back at some of the previous videos on my channel, we really get more in depth about certain neighborhoods, more in detail, talking about the pros and cons of the neighborhood, the different types of homes that are available, the pros and cons, and really get more deeper into the neighborhood. So I would suggest you go back and maybe check some of those other videos out if you have any more direct questions or just want to get some more information about a particular neighborhood. And this is one of the reasons why we really ask a lot of questions when we get calls from people that are looking to relocate, because it really depends on your lifestyle. So in general, if you want to be closer to the beach, you're going to go east. But if you want to be a little more in a quiet area, more like a suburban type of neighborhood where it's less congested, you're going to want to go west. But obviously, a lot of this has to do with what you're going to be doing down here when you move here. I mean, where you're going to work, where you're going to commute, things like that. So that's really going to tailor where you're going to be, but this is just a very general video about the difference between the east side and the west side. So hopefully this video answered some questions that you might have about the difference between the east side of the Greater Fort Lauderdale area or the west side. And as much as I like making these videos, what I like more than anything is to help people with their real estate needs. So my number's popping up down there again below. If you have any questions whatsoever about real estate down here in South Florida, or just want to find that perfect place you might be thinking of moving to, or just want to go see, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm open 24/7. I really appreciate you watching the video and spending some time with me. And until the next video, we'll catch you later.